So there are 10 US states that have populations of less than 1.5 million. So to give you some context, Los Angeles, the city, has a population of 4 million. So in those states with populations of less than 1.5 million, you probably have a pretty good chance or a better chance of not having neighbors, right? Here's the thing though, the least populated state, Wyoming, they have less than 600,000 people in the whole state. They have an average snowfall of 172 inches a year. In New Hampshire, the 10th least populated state in the US, they have an average snowfall of 88 inches a year. I'm sorry, but those places sound really cold. So let's talk about 5 states that don't have a huge population, and they all have an average snowfall of less than 22 inches per year. And they're inexpensive to live in. First up is Missouri. So Missouri has some pretty warm temperatures from spring until fall. And of course, you understand that temperatures are going to be different depending where you are in the state, because it's a pretty big state. Around St. Louis, you'll find about 153 days per year over 70 degrees. Missouri also has an average of 206 days per year of pure sunshine. And snowfall is low. The average for the state is 13 inches per year. Of course, you may get a little bit more in northern Missouri than in southern Missouri. Missouri's population is just over 6 million people. Real estate in Missouri is pretty inexpensive. The average home value is just over $245,000. Property taxes are going to vary throughout the state, but the average is 0.93% for the whole state. Average income tax in Missouri ranges from 0% to 5.4%. So I know you want to get away from those pesky neighbors. I get it. So you can actually purchase a home like this on 5 acres for about $300,000. Or this one on 7 acres for $425,000. Or even this one on 1 acre in Osage Beach, so you could have some really famous neighbors.
Hi, I'm Marty Bird.
And I'm Wendy Bird. If you're gambling on your next vacation, make the smart bet.
Come see us here at the Missouri Belle.
So next we have Louisiana. If you've ever visited New Orleans, then you know it can be hot. In New Orleans itself, the temperature is over 70 degrees about 275 days a year. Of course, this will vary all over the state. The sun shines on average 100 days per year in Louisiana, and those other days it's just a few rain showers. And unless it's one of those crazy years like 2025, you won't have any snowfall at all. The population of the state is just over 4.6 million people. Real estate in Louisiana is some of the cheapest in the US. Average home values are just below $200,000. Property taxes are so cheap in Louisiana, so the average for the state is about 0.53% of the assessed value of your property. In November of 2024, Louisiana put in place a flat 3% income tax for every resident. And to get away from some of those crazy neighbors, take a look at this property in Hammond. Here you can get a 2,800 square foot house on an acre for $250,000. Or you can get something like this, 1,500 square feet on 1.5 acres for $280,000 in Baton Rouge. Or maybe you prefer Lake Charles, you can get this 3-bed, 3-bath for $260,000 on just over an acre. So South Carolina is no doubt a very beautiful state. Temperatures are pretty warm for a lot of the year, so on average you have about 210 days per year of temperatures over 70 degrees. There are a lot of climate differences though in South Carolina because there are mountains. And good news on snowfall, you will get less than 1 inch per year. I think up in the mountains it could be a little bit different, but if you're living in the lowlands, you should be fine. The population of South Carolina is just over 5.1 million people. Real estate isn't as cheap in South Carolina as it is in some other states, but it still can be very affordable, with average home values being just under $300,000. Property taxes are low too. The average property tax for the state is 0.57%. South Carolina's income tax is going to range from 0% to 6.4%. Living in some of these homes means you won't have neighbors or very close neighbors. This house is in Columbia, South Carolina. It's on an acre and you'll pay less than $300,000. In Spartanburg, you could get this cute little house on 1.7 acres and live in over 3,000 square feet. This home needs some work in Goose Creek, but you would be an easy drive to Charleston, and it's still on an acre. Oklahoma is a transition state in the US, so it has a little bit of everything. Temperatures in Oklahoma are 70 degrees for more than 200 days a year. Oklahoma gets 234 days on average of pure sunshine. As for snow, Oklahoma gets less than 9 inches of snow per year. It can be way less than that in some places and a little bit more than that, like up in western Oklahoma. The population of Oklahoma currently sits at just about 4 million people. Home values in Oklahoma are just over $200,000 on average. The average property tax is 0.87% of your property's assessed value. And for income tax, you'll pay between 0 and 5%. Some parts of Oklahoma are really underpopulated, so you could get something like this in Chandler for less than $400,000, and it's on 20 acres. Or you could get this home in Claremore. It's brand new, less than 45 minutes from Tulsa, and it's on an acre for $270,000. For about $300,000, you could live in this brick house in Lexington, Oklahoma. This one has 2,000 square feet and 2.5 acres. I'm Marcie Billen. I'm a real estate agent, and I'm connected to real estate agents all over the US. If I can help you in your quest for relocation, you can fill out this short form on my website. You'll find the link in the description and in the comments. And then I'll give you a call. Yes, I make all the calls, and we can see what you need next in your relocation journey. So New Mexico is a little bit of an outlier state on my list, but I wanted to add it because it's so different. New Mexico has mountains. So does South Carolina, but New Mexico's are very different than South Carolina's. New Mexico does have over 200 days per year on average of 70-degree weather, but in some places that isn't the case because of the elevation. And in some places it's actually hotter than that, more than that. There's tons of sunshine in the state too. On average, they get 278 days of sunshine per year. And snowfall can be really weird. In the mountains, you're going to get a lot more snowfall. There's even skiing. But on average, the state gets 24 inches of snowfall per year. And not very many people live in New Mexico. The population is around 2.1 million. As for real estate, the average home value is right around $300,000. The average property tax for the state is 0.55%, which is very low for the US. For income tax, you're going to pay between 1.7 and 5.9%. For homes, there are a lot of empty spaces. There's not very many people. There's a lot of desert too. Yeah. So these homes that I'm going to tell you about are all near towns that are more than 10,000 people. This home near Silver City gets you 6 acres for just over $350,000. Las Cruces is one of the larger cities in New Mexico, and this home sits just outside the city on 2 acres. Santa Fe is more expensive and is colder than some other places in Mexico, but it's very beautiful. This home needs some work, but it's on 15 acres and it's priced at $450,000. So, which state looks the best to you? Let me know in the comments and be sure to watch this video next.